you get recognized so much. People say hi, but you have never seen them before.
No, it's a wonderful experience because I meet friends everywhere that I didn't know that I had.
Okay.
You know, because
What does it do with your ego?
it's very important to keep the ego out of this because if I let my ego affect me too much, I can't do what I'm supposed to do.
But it's like a compliment.
But it is. But it's at the same time, it's a very difficult situation to be in many times. It's very challenging, very threatening at times.
Yeah.
So the few times when I come out and meet people, it's incredibly encouraging and wonderful. So
it's because the rest of the time you're investigating all alone, you know, searching on the internet, going to locations.
Yeah, but I'm also putting myself in a very dangerous situation many times. I'm going on location while the operations are still there.
Yeah.
I'm challenging the official stories big time.
Yeah.
I'm exposing the forces behind these alleged terror attacks, and so the ones that I feel threatened by are not like Muslim terrorists, but they are like state-sponsored terrorism.
Yeah.
These type of things. So it gets very uncomfortable at times. Yeah. So to come out and meet normal, wonderful people is fantastic, and but it's very important to be aware of your ego, and so that it doesn't get in the way, that you keep it under. We all have an ego, but the ego is there to keep us safe. Well, we've just given it too much power, so if you are not aware of it, it can just take over.
Okay.
So
by the way, in between, the subject will be state-operated attacks or assassinations and stuff like that, or what do you call it?
Over more than 30 years that I've looked into, I'm just looking for the truth. What happened?
Yeah.
And who did it? And why did they do it? And who benefited? And so I try to come neutral, objective to a location, but every single time, and I've looked into hundreds by now, I have not found real terrorists. I have found state-sponsored terrorism, carried out by the same forces, NATO-connected, coordinated attacks on different nations, where the people that are carrying it out are like private contractors, people from the Stay Behind, Gladio Network, or NATO troops that are carrying it out, then blaming it on innocent patsies and so on. It's the same story again and again and again. This is what I've found out. When you look at what is behind the New World Order, it's a small little group of individuals, or whatever they are, who have decided, we're so much better than the rest of you, we want you as slaves. But how do the few control the billions? How do they do it? How can they get us to bend over and kiss their feet and even pay to be able to be their slaves and die for them in unjust wars? How do they do it? It's a psyop. That's the only way they can do it. And also by infiltrating the system. So when you look at over the many, many years, how groups like the Bilderberg Group have been created, the Trilateral Commission, Council on Foreign Relations, Club of Rome, Skull and Bones, how they've had these secret meetings, and they said, listen guys, how are we going to do it? And so they've studied society, and they say, okay, if we're going to do it, we need to be able to control key people and key positions in the different nations. What positions do we need to control to be able to take care of that area, that area, that area, that area? So especially groups like the Bilderberg Group have specialized very much in looking, okay, we need to be able to check the police, the whole, we need to be able to control the military, the judges, not all, key people, media, film, music, where especially that's how they get to the young people, through movies, through music, through social media. These are the areas that you just, okay, that's one. So they focused very, very intense on these areas, and then find which one is a key person that we can control, either by luring them, you know, paying them, corrupting them with riches and gold and all of that, or controlling them through blackmail and so on. And this is where the Freemasonic networks comes in, and how people are being handpicked and then invited into groups like the Bilderberg group, where, for instance, a country like Holland, Sweden, Denmark, tiny countries, you only need a handful of people, like 5, 8, 10, but in key positions. Then next country, same there. Next country, same there.
So you only say you need maybe 10 people?
Not even that. Yeah, something like that.
To control a whole country?
Not control it in total, but enough so that you can sit behind the screens or the sort of the dark corridors of power. They're actually above it. The people that are pulling the strings, you never hear who they are, or you don't see them. It's the hidden hand. But they, through these networks and through the Freemasonic networks and so on, where they just go they intertangle, they can then pull the strings so that we don't see what's going on. We just see suddenly it's going that direction. But you can't prove it. It's like there's this fog that.
And how deep have you been in those 30 years of investigation? How deep have you gone into the rabbit hole?
I've gone very far, but at the same time, what I found early on is that the width of where they have gone to control is so massive. So either I can go everywhere and try to understand everything and get totally confused, and when I speak to people, they're going to go, oh my God, this guy, he's just all over the place. Or I can specialize in one area, and where if I become a specialist in this area based on facts and become extremely exact there, I can help to make a change. So the focus I put, because for some reason, I have no idea, but this is a thing that really clicks with me, are assassinations and alleged terror attacks, false flag terror, state-sponsored terrorism. These areas, also because it is through these, they've got very few methods really to control us, and the so-called false flag operations are a major one. So I thought, this is the one, and so I've just, again and again, as soon as something happens, I'm on it, on location as well, which is very scary sometimes, because just because something has happened 1 week doesn't mean that the operation is over, and they do not want the real truth to be uncovered. So when you go on location, it can be very confronting and very scary sometimes.